Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to continue our exploration of different tactics in FM26. And let's get started with an overview. We'll be looking at the diamond formation in FM26 because it solves one of the biggest sticking points I always had with the formation, and that's what to do with the wingbacks. Because in old FMs, you had to decide, did you want to place them further up the field and sacrifice your defense? Or did you want to play your wingbacks in a deeper position and sacrifice your attack? But in FM26, we can have the best of both worlds. But I first want to talk about some different tactical ideas I had going into this match. With this experiment, I first had to think about what to do about the flanks. We only have one player out there and they're a wingback. So can we use some of these new player roles to help out in those wider areas, in both defense and attack? Second, what do we do about the midfield? We've got 4 midfielders and it can get very crowded very quickly. You may be sensing a theme, because how you deal with the wider areas will be crucial to decide whether your formation works or not. So let's head back to Kyoto and start looking at some ideas. On the left is the in-possession formation, and on the right, the out-of-possession formation. This is what I was alluding to in the intro. In previous FMs, you would have to choose one formation or the other. Do you want to be more attacking or more defending? Now with FM26, we can choose both. Because in attack, I can use 2 advanced wingbacks. They're going to get further up the field, and it's a role I wouldn't be able to use if they were in the fullback spot. It's only available in this higher position. The halfback is paired with 2 standard center backs. And I find this trio especially useful in diamond formations, because when the wingbacks push up, the 2 center backs help cover those wider areas. The center midfield, on the left I went with the wide central midfielder. I think of this role like the carrilero or a wide box-to-box midfielder. On the other side, the midfield playmaker. I found that this role has a lot of deep blind playmaker and regista DNA, so they'll focus on sitting deeper during build-up. This is a helpful role in this type of formation. Ahead of them, I went with the attacking midfielder. The second striker could be an option, but I didn't want it to be too crowded up front since we already have 2 strikers. The free role could be a useful option as well. In the 2 strikers, I went with 2 channel forwards. Naturally, they run into channels. This will help in the wider areas as well as freeing up space for the attacking midfielder. Out of possession, it's pretty standard, but I want to point out 2 roles that seem to fit this formation. The splitting outlet center forward, and they turn into almost a winger when defending. They will also be an outlet out wide if we win the ball. The other role is the wide covering central midfielder. Just a theory, but this could be one of the most demanding roles in the game because of the need to cover the midfield and wider areas. The rest of the roles are pretty straightforward. A tracking attacking midfielder who drops when defending, and then a backline consisting of center backs and fullbacks. And there are no team instructions for either formation. We'll break down some highlights to see how it all works. Our first example starts with the opponent on the ball at midfield. The first thing to note is how wide those splitting forwards are. They're essentially wingers. The next role is the wide covering midfielder. I mentioned the work rate needed for this role, and you'll see why in this clip. The ball will end up switching flanks, and the midfielder will have to run to cover it, even dropping to near a fullback. So a helpful player role to be sure, but check out the work rate and teamwork attributes of any player you put there. We win the ball and start our possession. Nothing too exciting, so let's check out another clip. In this one, we've got the ball after a failed set piece, so it's a little disjointed. But I chose this one because it's a good showcase for that positioning of the midfield playmaker, sitting deeper much like the deep line playmaker. Also, the 2 center backs are here in the halfback that create the back 3. These 3 allow the 2 advanced wingbacks to push high up the field. We get the goal after a run from the attacking midfielder splits those 2 strikers. Here it is again in 3D. Here, the wide central midfielder is on the ball. It's another good example on how high those advanced wingbacks get up the field. We're passing the ball around, but the defense is in this deep 4-1-4-1 defending shape, which means there's about 10 players in the center of the field between the two teams. What this means is that if more players are in the center, there's more space out wide. My wingback only has to beat one defender, because our front three are keeping the center backs occupied. The last example will be a little less exciting, but shows some more defending shapes. The opponent has the ball in their own half. We see some effective teamwork from our defense. The covering midfielder will track the run. At this point, the fullback steps out, and you can see the defensive midfielder already covering the other run. Now, we're about to win the ball, and I don't think we could get a better look at what a splitting outlet forward does. They split out wide and provide an outlet, which is exactly what we need in this situation. We quickly start our counterattack, but nothing comes of it at first. However, we'll watch it play out in full in 3D. These are the stats from the first half. All things considered, I can't complain about too much. I think of all the formations that we've looked at in this FM26 experiment series, the diamond is the one that needs the most attention when watching a match. It's easy for players to run into each other or occupy the same space, so special care should be used when selecting player roles. With that said, if you enjoy the shorter passing, higher tempo possession style, I think this could be one of the most effective formations for that playstyle. If you'd like to check out some player role shirts or maybe a digital FM planner, you can check out the Half Space Apparel online store. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.